Okay, are we good? So
Okay.
please introduce yourself and tell us what community you're from within the constituency.
Okay. Good morning.
Goodbye. You're talking to me, not the camera.
Okay. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
I am Onehi Akbu Richard from Igaokpaya in Apa local government area of Benue State.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what's the last 3, 4 days of the fellowship been like for you? And what's your experience been?
Yeah. In the last 2, 3 days of this fellowship, it has been an impactful experience. I've gained a lot. It's of utmost importance to me. Why? Because my eyes were opened to understand the certain issues that borders our communities. And these issues, they are caused by behavioral activities. He talked about climate change. Now, there are things that we do that enhance this climate change, and one of them is the common things that we do that we do not really have the understanding that it can impact our environment, that it can impact the atmosphere. Take for instance, like bush burning. Bush burning can affect the climate, deforestations, cutting down of trees where we feel, okay, we needed to get this done, we needed to put other things in place, or maybe for financial gains, and then we put down trees, we cut down trees. And these trees that are being brought down can actually contribute to the climate change. The reason is trees enhances oxygen, enhances breathing. Say for instance, we breathe in oxygen and then we release carbon dioxide. Now the oxygen that we breathe in comes from the trees. So once these trees are being brought down, it affects the climate. And then if we don't have enough trees around us, the carbon dioxide that we release, it now revolves around the atmosphere and still returns back to us, causing depletion, causing problems to our health.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so in this last 4 days, yeah, okay, 3 days from Monday, well, we actually started to Wednesday,
Okay.
last night. You've been you've been exposed you've been exposed to a lot of information, both in class, the courses you're doing, environmental journalism courses, writing courses, and a whole lot of that. It's been a lot of information. But what are the critical learnings that stood out for you the most, that are top of mind anytime, any day? Maybe just highlight maybe like two, three, four of them.
Okay. In the course of the training, so many things stood out for me as a fellow of Education for Change and also Community Change Climate Tracker Fellowship. Um, One specific thing that stood out for me is as a climate change reporter, communication is very, very important. Now, say for instance, if people are being marginalized, there is no how and there is no way their voice will be heard if proper communication is not being put in place. So communication gives marginalized people's voice. It enables their voice to be heard. And also through advocacy, when you advocate for these people, it draws the attentions of the government to come to their aid. So that's actually one of the significant things that stood out for me in the course of this training. And then secondly, I would say that as a climate change fellow, I've gained a lot of knowledge, and I've also come to understand that mediation is very important. That while you are in a community that are having issues or two warring parties having conflicts, and as a fellow, as a climate change reporter, and as one who has gone through this training, you need to have the understanding to see how you can mediate between these two parties to resolve issues and to let's then find common grounds, to come to terms and to see needs, to see reasons why problems is not good, it's not a welcome development in the society. Now, if two parties are at war, there are so many implications to that. Number one, peace will be lost, and number two, education will be at risk. Because if you're at war, there is no how the children would have that inner peace studying. So it affects a lot of things. So as a climate change reporter, you need to have this depth understanding. And while mediating, you must be neutral. From what I've come to learn the course of the program, you must be neutral. You must not take sides with any faction, regardless of how touching, how emotional the stories could be to you. You must try as much as you can to be neutral and then be an active listener. You know, while trying to mediate between parties, you must pay careful attention to the both parties and not to fault any one of them. So while mediating also, you don't need to jump into conclusions. You know, you give attention to the both parties, hearing their stories, okay, the what transpired between them, and then in your own understanding, you try to make them to see reasons, to see needs, to have a common ground so that such problems can be resolved amicably, because we need to be at peace first before we can be able to combat the issues we are having that is contributing to the climate change we are experiencing today. And then also in the course of the training, we also meant to understand that as a storyteller, because while reporting, apparently you're also a storyteller. So as a storyteller, you shouldn't take sides with any parties, or say for instance there is an issue between communities, or say for instance something happened within your region, within your location, and your people are affected. So as a reporter or as a storyteller, since these are your people, you wouldn't report in such a way that it will favor them, okay? So the first thing you need to understand is, okay, what are the triggers? Because there is no how two parties will just wake up one day and then resort into fight. And fighting will break out. It's not really possible. So something must have happened, something must have transpired between the parties that could result into that action. So as a reporter, the best thing you could do at that point, number one, like I said, is to be neutral. And then number two, you don't need to take sides with any faction, and then get to know what really happens. Now, if that is being understood, then you can be able to report factually. Okay, so and then also while reporting, you need to fact check. Okay, let's say these issues has occurred. Okay, let's say I get to meet one or two persons. Okay, what really happened? In trying to find out, doing your findings. Okay, what really happens? You get to hear from one person. It's not just enough for you to draw conclusion. You also meet the next person. What really happened? What is the cause of this problem? What you've got? Then you now try to analyze. Okay, these reports that I've gotten from these people, are they really? Do they really match? You know, you get to check some of those things. You fact check, okay, you know, to be sure that the information that you're about to tell or they're about to share, that it is actually the facts. So these are the few things. For want of time, I think I'll be bringing this section to a close. But it's really been an engaging event, an engaging period. Full of learnings, knowledge. We've gained a lot of knowledge. You know, we've been exposed to so many things that long before now we did not have that understanding. So it's really been a good one.
Great. How will this translate into your project idea? There's a project every fellow is supposed to carry out after or in the course of the fellowship, but after this camping retreat period. Tell me about your project and how these learnings on climate change will impact what you'll be doing.
Yeah, I intend working on two projects. One is waste reduction and recycling programs. And then the second project I also intend working on is education, awareness, and campaigns. Now, this project is targeted at impacting knowledge, you know, letting the community know about the impact, about the implications of the activities that we carry out without having the proper understanding of its implication in the society, in the community. So I intend hosting workshops, you know, seminars to enlighten these people about practices that would sustain the environment, you know. And now when you come to our communities, you get to discover that the whole communities will be littered, you know, we have a lot of waste, you know. This waste ranges from, let's say, plastic waste, you know, and a whole lot of that. So I intend enlighten the community, my people, you know, about the importance of recycling. You know, a healthy environment also contributes to a healthy living. So, and these issues, it's not really all about the community. Majorly, it's a global issue. If I so to say, largely within in this environment, when you get to most places, you get to discover that people don't really pay attention to waste management. So I intend handling that project to ensure that my people are being enlightened, my people comes to the realization that certain practices can affect our environment, which in turn contributes to climate change.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richwan.
Thank you.
So lastly, do you have any final words? Maybe something I want to say that I've not asked you, or feedback for the organizers, or maybe just something I want to say to your other fellows, co-participants.
Yeah, specifically, I want to say a very big thank you to the resource person and the convener of this program, the person of Mr. Nelson Apochowocho. He's done so noble, he's done so well that I lack words to actually express my gratitude. You know, we're living in an environment, in a society where people don't really have the mindset of giving back. So when you are being raised to a privileged position, it is one thing to give back to the community. It is one thing to give back to the society. So what he is doing today, it is not just about giving back to society. He is raising people. He is transforming generations, which he might not necessarily benefit from, but this knowledge that is impacting would also be translated to the other generations coming after us, okay? So I would really want to say a very big thank you, man, to all the team, to the organizers of these programs in ensuring that this program is a success. I understand that it takes a lot to put this kind of programs, bringing people from different walks of life, you know, come together, live together, you know, and then you manage the situations despite individuals' differences. You there ensure that everyone's being carried along, you know, and then they have the full understanding of why they are here. So for me, I would say I am really, really grateful. I am impressed. And one thing I want to assure the team is that this knowledge that we've gained, far from what we've been far from what we've achieved or far from what we've learned, or will ensure that I'll see to it that this knowledge is being replicated amongst others. So it's really a good one, and it is only God that rewards. So I would say may God bless the team, may God bless him abundantly more than he can imagine, and then may God grant us the grace to ensure that we translate this project to a height where we will live to be grateful for our actions. So I really want to say thank you, and also one of the team, the photographer, the editor, the media person. You've done so well the course of this program, at the course of this training. You know, we've been working tirelessly, seeing that we get connected when it is for a virtual section, and then you've given your best, your all. You know, these are the kind of people we want in our communities. These are the kind of people we look forward to interacting with day by day, because you get to learn, you'll be impacted. You know, I'm really, really grateful. In a nutshell, I'm really, really grateful. Thank you, and may God bless the team.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure having you.